Hello everybody and welcome to a spotlight on Sector Assault. This is you'll say, it's kind of like a arcadey twin stick shooter, except there's one big issue with it I can find so far. The options menu, let's go through it very quickly because it's not that in depth. You've got a resolution, a full screen toggle button. As always, it's a 1080p full screen for me. Do with it what you will. I will not mess with it during the recording. You've got a music, a sound, volume, heads-up display opacity, which is actually quite nice to have, and laser sight, which is enables laser sight for weapon aiming, makes it a little bit easier to actually play the game. So for this video's purposes, we're going to turn that on. The keybinds are based on keyboard and mouse, and you might be able to change some of that to controller, but the game seems to be made with keyboard and mouse in mind, which is why I said it's kind of like a twin stick shooter, except not really. So we're going to start from wave 1 here. There's 28 of these ships, shurikens and bolters, and we've got a selection of weapons and equipments we can choose from. So we have a autocannon, which is actually quite good. I'm going to go with missiles for this one, I think. You can choose those, right? Like, you can drag and drop those? Yeah, you can. Or a scatter shot, also kind of good. The laser is actually, chain lightning. It's really good, especially in later levels when things are getting very busy. It forks and it arcs all over the place. It's really, really good. Then you've got a storm cloak, which is kind of good, and a teleporter, which I will not be using because that seems really not that useful. So we're going to place a repair protocol there instead. I played one game of this before starting this recording, and as you can see, this is the aim assist laser. And again, as I said, they're definitely, oh yeah, we have missiles now. I probably should pay attention to that a little bit. So yeah, as I said, things definitely, wow, are they homing? The missiles are homing and also instant hits. So yeah, that definitely does make this a lot easier. And you can understand why I called this a twin stick shooter without twin stick action, because obviously it is a mouse and keyboard type of game, which actually it does play fairly well. I do complain about the fact that it's not actually twin stick, but that doesn't really matter that much if the game just controls well, which it definitely does. So that really is a point in its favor. So now that there's 4 of these things here, I can use 1 ammo to blow up all 4 of them. As you can see, definitely I am getting more ammo and health than I need for this first wave. Especially since these missiles, definitely much better than the things I brought last time. Last time I had the, what was it? The autocannon, which wasn't that good comparatively. This is much better. It auto-aims, it does a shitload of damage. And that being said, having the laser does make this a lot easier as well. Mostly for video purposes. I would recommend not having the laser on, personally, for normal playthroughs, but for demonstration purposes, I think we're going to keep it on for this video. And now that we have finished the first wave, which it's not that difficult, you get a timing score, the amount of kills you have, asteroids you destroyed, small, medium, and large. You can also destroy those. I did not destroy any of those. We'll do that in the second wave here. Accuracy, 92%, which it doesn't really matter that much to me. The damage dealt, the hull damage taken, which is 0, because I also have a shield which regenerates. But when you deplete the shield, obviously you're going to start taking HP damage. Death, 0, and high scores. So now let's move on to the next wave. We have 29 bolters, 25 shurikens, but also 3 beam cannons, which are a little bit of a new ship I have not experienced before. So I'm going to keep the same loadout because that does seem to be working for me quite well. And we're going to try to fix that zero asteroid game a little bit. You can also get HP and ammo out of these asteroids, so that's a really good thing to know. And there's a lot of these things around. Holy crap, let's spam some rockets at them. So definitely the difficulty ramps up right away. It's not that difficult, but I can see this game getting monstrably difficult by the time you hit like wave 5. Which is really good, because that's kind of what you want out of a arcadey top-down twin stick type shooter game, right? You don't want this to be too easy, because otherwise it just becomes boring very quickly. Because, let's be honest, the gameplay itself isn't that engaging. It only becomes engaging once you... Okay, that does seem to be potentially a problem for me. Let's kill you. It only becomes engaging once difficulty starts to factor into this, because right now it's just like happening on screen, and I'm not even thinking about it too much. I'm thinking about the fact that I definitely do want to kill those laser dudes, because they do seem very threatening. But other than that, I'm not like using much of my brain here. It's just like kind of happening on screen, and things are just kind of working out for me. Which, for video purposes, is really good for me. For like general gameplay purposes and just like generally, okay, that being said, I am kind of dying here, so maybe it's more difficult than I'm giving it credit for. Then again, I am also commentating and talking over the game as we play it. So yeah, those ships actually kind of annoying. I have run out of ammo, so let's pick up some more ammo while we repair our ship here a little bit. And I'm going to keep this thing on for a little while. It doesn't actually work against those ships. I don't exactly know what all of the powers do yet, so it's a little bit of a trial and error kind of thing for me, but I do feel like we might be able to win this second wave without a death as well. As long as there's not too many of these laser dudes, because they are very, very annoying to deal with. But as I said, once it gets a little bit crowded on screen, you can start using the lightning. And that really does help you quite a lot. So we made it through in wave number 2 as well. And I managed to destroy 2 small asteroids. They're not that important until you get into a little bit of like a more tricky situation, in which case you probably don't have time to break them. So I don't exactly know. So you have this specific wave, all your stats, then you have your total stats. My accuracy dropped a little bit because I only had 80% here. I did have quite a lot more kills. I have taken a bit of damage here in this wave, which now also adds up to the total. And we go into the next one as well. We again have some new ships. A Marauder and a Tempest. I'm going to take mines, because that does seem like it would be fun. And I'm also going to switch out my missiles and electric thing, just for you guys to see the different kinds of weapons we have, right? They might not actually be better, as a matter of fact. I kind of doubt they are. But I want to show off as much as possible in this video. So these are not homing anymore, and that could potentially be an issue. So that is what the plasma cannon does. The scatter shots, I'm assuming they scatter on impact and do splash damage, but they're also fairly difficult to hit, it seems. So I don't know. So let's kill this dude first, and then there might like be a wave of spawns, which, okay, maybe not. Which the scatter shot is more useful against. These teleporting enemies doesn't seem like scatter shots are. Wow, they are taking away my shield quickly. That being said, I also am running into like a lot of asteroids, so that might be part of the issue as well. Okay, normal enemies again. Scatter shot time. Let's see what they did. Doesn't seem like a very good weapon so far, to be honest. It does rapid fire, but it also does like no damage. Okay, I'm not a fan of the scatter shot. I'm not going to be using that again. I'll just snipe you all from like long distances, because this does seem to be like a very powerful shot. You can't really use that often. So maybe scatter shots are good to break asteroids though. I'm thinking they might be good for breaking asteroids, seeing as how you can rapid fire them. Okay, now we've got these shurikens, which are fairly quick. So they're more difficult to hit, definitely. Maybe the scatter shots are good for those as well. Doesn't seem like the case at all. Oh, for those you probably want to place some landmines, or well, I guess they're not landmines as much as just like mines, like space mines. So let's place some of those down. I don't know if there's like a limit on how many you can place down of those. I'm going to assume that there probably is. Oh, they do like slightly home the mines, so that's good. You are a bitch to hit though, like for real. Please don't be such a bitch to hit. I'm being damaged, like quite a lot actually. Let's try to place down some mines. Can I just like hit these? I think those are the shurikens. They must be the shurikens. If they are not the shurikens, I don't know what is. I think the shurikens are literally killing themselves. No, they're just more spawning. Never mind. It's the exact opposite of killing themselves. It's multiplying. They're multiplying. That's not good for me. I just realized they do seem to have a shield around them as well, which might be the reason I can't hit them. So can you just literally not kill the shurikens? That would make sense to make the game play a little bit more difficult. Having unkillable obstacles in the game. Yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to assume that you cannot kill them. There is, I should mention, and I'll show you in the next loading screen, also a manual for all the enemy ships you can look at, which will tell you what they do. I have not shown that yet. As a matter of fact, I have not looked at any of them yet, because who the fuck reads manuals in 2020? And that is this level gone. So, done. Same thing. So we can now look at the manuals for... Let's look at the shurikens. The Tempest, not the shurikens. Why did I... Oh, these are shurikens. No, I've just been an idiot. Tempest. Bouncy violently around a level that reading is hard. Invulnerable to all forms of damage, but can be stunned. All other enemies must be killed for the Tempest to warp out, as I expected. So now we also have broadsides and titans, which let's just take a look at them. A slow target with high shields and a devastating short-ranged barrage. And then we have titans and like a lot of, actually not that many other enemies. So this is sturdy and equipped with like just a lot of health, the titan. Let's look at how many... let's go to the main menu. And let's look at how many waves there actually are. I'm fine overwriting my current progress. So it seems like there is quite a number of waves, and after about like wave 9, no new enemies spawn. So looking at the difficulty like curve within the first few waves, it seems like the game does end up becoming fairly difficult. And then there's also like multiple difficulty settings. I was just playing on normal. You also have an easy mode. Why would you? Why would you? But if normal is too hard and you've played the entire game, there's also a hard and an insane mode, which I don't even want to know what that does. That probably just like takes away your shield and lets you instantly die. But that is a spotlight on Sector Assault here today. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have. Until the next time, I've been Vlogger, you've been awesome, this has been Sector Assault, bye.